Scuba Steve is our executive producer, which means he's calling the shots from behind the glass. Scuba, what's happening in your personal life right now?
So we have a third child coming, and that has really rocked our family in a good way and a bad way. The good thing is we have a new life coming through, and it's going to change our life financially because now we have another kid. And my wife is now looking at the situation as, do I continue on working or do I move forward with being a stay-at-home mother?
Has she ever been a stay-at-home mom?
Never. She's worked since she's 15 years old, so almost 20 years.
So on the third kid, now you guys have to make that decision based on how much it would cost for childcare?
Yes, it's kind of like outweighing that, like how much money she's bringing in versus what we pay for that, and it almost breaks even. So it's not worth it to have the nanny anymore.
So if it breaks even, well, but what about her mental health? And what about, because if she doesn't want to do it, but still, let's say it does help a bit financially, I mean, how she feels about it's got to be a big deal, right?
That's the biggest concern is that because you've done something for so long, like imagine you leaving radio to become a stay-at-home father. That'd be cool, but it'd be very tough because you're changing up what you've always known and her independence and going to work and just all those things that you're not going to have anymore because you're tied to 3 kids at home, can't go anywhere.
These conversations have been had between you two. This is the first time you've talked about it, right? Here on the show? Can you
Yes,
imagine?
yeah.
Scuba would do that crap. And be like, I'm really nervous about talking to her about it. What's the conversation been like for you two?
So we've been talking about for the last few months, just outweighing the financial side of things, which is the most important because we have to pay for ourselves and pay for them. But then, of course, the mental side of things. And we've made the decision for her to walk away from work, and it's going to happen at the end of this month. So she's doing it.
Who really wanted that to happen?
I think, well, I've always wanted it. Like when I took this job initially and when I left LA and moved here to Nashville about 2 years ago, we had kind of a conversation and she promised me she'd be a stay-at-home mother. But then a month or so later, she went right back to work. And I have to respect that as her husband and her partner to say that she wants to go back to work. I understand that. At the time, we could afford our lifestyle without her going to work, but she wanted it, so I gave it to her. But now we're at a point with 3 children. She's got to stay home.
So you really wanted it.
I really wanted it from the start and now, yes. Oh. I want my wife raising my children. Nothing wrong with a nanny or anyone else.
Here we go.
She's great, but my mom was a stay-at-home mom and she raised us and gave us all our foundations and everything, and I would like for my wife to be that as well.
So based on how you grew up, you want to make your wife do that.
Yes.
Yeah. How does she feel about it still?
She's very nervous. She cried at her last meeting last week because she has to leave this job that she loves. No. So it's very tough.
What does she say about the financial part of it? Is she like, no, we can't afford it?
The nanny and her working?
Because it sounds like when you're weighing your options here, that it's pretty close, but you're like, my mom did this, so you need to do this. Do you?
Well, it wasn't really said that way, but yes, I see where you're putting me here with this, and
I didn't put you anywhere. I'm hearing what you're saying. And
Yeah.
You're putting yourself here.
Right. With 3 kids, could you have afforded for her to go to work?
Yes, she can go to work, but then it's almost like, what's the point of going to work? You're paying for the nanny, and then there's no money left over.
Her desire to work.
Yeah, and she's not raising your kids, so that's also, you got to take that into account.
Here's the thing that stands out to me. Well, first of all, we can't pass down how we were raised and things. Like, we can't bring that into our own lives as much as we want to. You have to, like, forge your new way. Then she promised you she would do it, and then when she got here, she realized, oh, shoot, that's not really what I wanted to do, so she went back to work. That speaks volumes to me here about what she really wants.
But do you think she promised you that she would do it only to satisfy you at that time, that she really didn't even want to do it then?
Maybe that could have been that. Yeah.
Well, she gave it a try and then was like, "Oh God."
It was like only a month though. Wasn't much of a try.
Wasn't much of a try. Wow. Okay, Amy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just feel for her because, you know, I always thought whenever I became a mom, I would leave this show. And there was actually times where, I mean, if I had gotten pregnant, I had thought, well, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, so I might as well quit. I got to raise a baby. And then it worked out to where I adopted older children that would go into school, so I never had to. But I think had it come down to it, I would have tried to stay with the show because I love my job. I love what I do. And even though I had made that promise to my husband and our family, and that's what I said I was going to do, I would have gone back on it, and it probably would have been a difficult conversation in our home too. So I get where Steve is coming from. But you have to do what's best for her mentally. She's going to resent you.
Especially if you can afford it.
Yeah. Have you all gone to a therapist about this?
She goes to a therapist, but I won't touch it. I don't want to go to therapy.
Okay, this is all.
I went to therapy as a child, and it was a waste of my time, and it was awkward, and I just can't do it.
But your mom raised you, and life was
you'd love it.
great.
You'd love it if you went and gave it a chance. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. That I feel like she's being bullied into this a little bit.
Okay.
Listen, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, that's awesome. I think that's amazing. But it's
it's not for everybody.
Right. It's for some people, and those stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads.
Yes.
That you're a fundamental reason. You're the reason your child has whatever they have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're there with them every day. You're making a difference. But if you don't want to do it, I don't think you can be a good one if you don't have the desire to actually do it.
And it doesn't mean you love your kids any less, or they're going to be less supported in any way. But Scuba, I would encourage you to talk to someone about it.
He just did. He talked to us.
No, we're not experts.
And he talked to his wife. She made a promise.
I think he made her promise. I think he made her make a promise.
Right.
And she tried it.
Not really much of a try.
A month?
I mean, imagine if you had a kid and you said, hey, I want you to go try college. And they go for a month. It's not for me. Would you be like, okay, cool, you gave it a try? Or would you be like, no, you need to stick it out?
A pretty good sample size, though.
You need to stick it out for a semester.
Scuba, can she, okay, make a deal.
Okay.
6 months.
With us. Have her do a semester.
Okay, semester of being a
She's
stay-at-home
not
mother.
a child.
Stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
I'm just using what Lunchbox is saying. And say, hey, look, absolutely. I understand your desire to not be home all the time with the kids. So what if you do it this time for 4 months? And if after 4 or 5 months, you still are like, I don't think this is for me, we can actually readdress that.
Yeah.
And I think you leave the option open for both of you. She doesn't feel like she's being painted into a corner or has painted herself into a corner by saying this. Now I got to live up to my promise. A promise that you made her give anyway. Honestly.
Okay.
And Amy brings up a great point. You are holding her to your standard because of your mom.
Okay. Now, it would be a great compromise if after a few months, she still was a stay-at-home mother, but to satisfy the need of going to work, she works from home, like part-time.
But I think probably people that want to work, it's more about
Getting away.
a social.
Getting out.
Yeah.
Like, we'll go out and do stuff.
Oh my God.
Just you. She sees you all the time.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm here a lot, but yeah, she'll get to see me more, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, this is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I love it that you guys are having these conversations about your kids. That's great.
Yeah.
I think she promised you initially only to go, okay, this will never happen.
Or she gave it a try.
And then she gave it a shot and didn't like it.
Yeah.
She ain't going to like it this time either, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, like I just think that this needs more conversation with experts, and you should open yourself up to therapy. Because
Yeah, I'll talk to both of you at the same time. Bring 'em
yeah.
I'll say this to her too. But instead of saying forever, say let's try it for 4 or 5 months. Make it a number and say, hey, let's readdress it then. And if you're just absolutely not happy, let's figure out how to make you happy.
Okay.
Okay?
That's good advice.
Oof.
3. I vote 3 months. I feel like 4 or 5, 6.
How long's
that's
a
long
semester?
time. No, a semester's too long. She's not a college
No,
student.
What is that? 3
She's
months?
an adult woman, and it's like can't even believe we're having to give her this.
Okay, 4 months, Scuba. I said 5 minutes. 4 months.
Okay, 4 months. That's a good compromise.
Sounds like a semester to me.
Yes.
That is.
All right, Scuba. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Do you want to say when you're having your next kid? Can you?
Yeah, it's January. I think January 6th is the due date.
And she's already told her job she's leaving?
Yeah, she's leaving at the end of this month. She's out.
And she cried.
She cried. She already has her
Good.
replacement
I
set
know we
up.
said last meeting she cried, but I didn't know.
Yeah, she's gone.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's a Bobby Bones show.